Hello and good morning, lads and ladies. We are watching a video today from the channel called More Perfect Union. First video I've ever watched on this channel, 2.3 million subscribers, and also this video is a little older, like 2 weeks, 13 days I believe. It's called We Investigated Hundreds of Trump Donors. What we found will shock you. It's about that, as the subtitles say here. In September 2025, the CEO dinner with the big tech companies like Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, like Sam Altman or whatever this guy's called. And they investigated this in some shape or form. This is already a really bite-sized video again, as we try to watch here on this channel. And let's check it out, and then we'll see what they found. Here we go.
For 2025, Trump hosted a dinner for big tech's top CEOs.
The most brilliant people are gathered around this table.
Meta, Google,
The most brilliant people.
Microsoft, OpenAI, everyone was there.
This is definitely.
Oh yeah, wait, let me go back. Mark Zuckerberg, Google, Sergey Brin, I don't know Sergey Brin, Sundar Pichai, CEO of Google, co-founder of Google,
Microsoft,
okay.
OpenAI,
that's Sam Altman, of course, Bill Gates, of course.
everyone was there.
Tim
This
Cook,
is definitely
Tim
a
Apple.
high IQ group.
It was the usual scene. A bunch of people around a table praising Trump, thanking him for everything that he's doing.
Well, thanks for hosting us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for including me.
Thank you for being.
I hate this so much, by the way. Dude, like, that everybody has to, like, crawl into this man's ass is so annoying, you know? Because he loves being humored like this, and he just, you know, loves being showered in praise. I fucking hate that. I'm already getting angry. You know, and they all do it all. I know why, but it's so fucked up. I hate it.
Such a pro-business, pro-innovation president. Thank you for that.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yeah.
But I've got to admit, this dinner in
You
particular,
taste so good, Mr. Trump. Oh, yeah.
it had me scratching my head. It was weird. And not just because Zuckerberg got caught on a hot mic trying to be the teacher's pet.
All of the companies here are making huge investments in the country.
How much are you spending, would you say, over the next few years?
Oh gosh, I don't know, at least $600 billion.
Sorry, I wasn't ready to do our. I wasn't sure what number you want to keep going.
Trump and Trump out.
Dude, it's insane, right? He just like spitballs a number here. Oh, right around like $600 billion. Like, what the fuck? He had no idea, or he has no idea, and he just says a number just because it sounds good for donors or for, you know, the economy or whatever.
Have historically been anti-tech.
There's no question that what the big tech companies are doing is very bad.
Very bad.
Big tech has made
The
a terrible
worst.
mistake and very, very bad for our country.
The presidency that started the antitrust lawsuit against Google was Donald J. Trump's presidency. We've got to take on those monopolies. President Trump already did it, and I think he'll do it again if we give him another chance.
In fact, Trump's first administration sued Google and Meta, and they tried to ban TikTok. So when I saw this dinner, and when I saw this scene at his inauguration, I was more than a little surprised. What changed?
I'm not surprised at all, to be honest. This is about money, right? Like, it's literally about money. He can, like, make money off these people. And he also strengthens his economy in, or at least, like, the stock market for a while. And that's what it's all about, right? To make him look good. That's the only reason he likes these people, or he invites these people, and is humored by them as well.
How did we go from this?
And he has leverage, of course, because, you know, he does whatever he wants. He's like an almost like an authoritarian leader now.
Filing a major class action lawsuit against the big tech
And most importantly, he's a fucking piece of shit.
giants, including Facebook, Google, and Twitter.
To this.
This is definitely a high IQ group. They're leading a revolution in business and in genius.
Well, we can't say for sure, but I'm guessing all of these donations didn't hurt. And the switch up on big tech, it's just scratching the surface.
Are we supposed to pretend that multi-billion-dollar corporations make multi-million-dollar payments and do not expect anything in exchange for those things?
You're looking at all of big tech's donations to the second inauguration of Donald Trump.
Dude.
Each
It's a
company
lot.
gave about $1 million to the new president to throw a massive inauguration party, which many of their CEOs attended.
It's probably also about like taxes, right? So they get like certain, I don't know, that they have to pay less business tax or whatever, or even like the billionaires themselves, the CEOs or heads of these companies or big shareholders, that they have to pay less taxes because, you know, that's what he's all about. He's lowering taxes for the rich and wealthy while fucking every normal citizen from behind.
How did they get away with giving the president $1 million each? Because there are almost no rules regulating inauguration funds, no laws saying what the funds have to be spent on, no limits on how much can be donated or who can even donate. And as a result, inauguration funds have become a major tool for corporate interests to buy influence in our government, another way to flatter and buy out Donald Trump. And the strategy is working. Before the inauguration, Meta was not in good standing with the government or with Donald Trump.
I consider Facebook to be an enemy of the people, along with a lot of the media.
Under Biden, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau was investigating Meta for illegally harvesting users' financial data to sell more ads on their platform.
And that just goes to show that these big tech CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg, as an example, they always fall in line, you know, because it's all about the money. There is no value behind any of this shit, you know? When they had rules and regulations and they stood up for minorities or whatever and tried to make their platform a better place for everybody, it was because there was a different administration and most people at least saw it as something that is good, right? And they made more money with it. Now they can like abolish these rules and they can still make their money, so they will do it, you know, because it's about profit and they don't care about anybody or anything else but the profit.
Then, Trump takes office, Meta donates $1 million, and the investigation vanishes. In fact, the Trump administration has basically shut down the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau entirely, which is great for Mark Zuckerberg, but not so much for the entire idea of protecting consumers. Google is playing the same game as Meta. In 2020, the previous Trump administration opened an antitrust case against Google. They said that Google had created an unfair monopoly. Something about running the single biggest search engine and the single biggest web browser at the same time seemed a little unfair, I guess. Google actually lost that case technically, but the judge ruled that Google wouldn't have to change its business in any major way. They could keep the Chrome web browser as long as they paid a measly fine that they could basically dig out of their couch cushions. A lot of people saw it.
Isn't that when they have these pro quos going with the Trump administration, like these big Magnificent Seven companies or whatever, and they pay money and then there are investigations are stopped, for example? Isn't that corruption? Like, isn't that something that is supposed not to happen? Or am I completely wrong here? Like, it sounds like it's omega illegal and corrupt. I don't know if that's allowed in America, but please educate me. But it sounds fucking insane to me.
As a major blow to antitrust efforts. And yet, 5 years after he opened the lawsuit, Trump changed course and congratulated the CEO of Google on this favorable ruling.
Do you want to talk about that big day you had yesterday?
I'm glad it's over.
Don't forget, Biden was the one that prosecuted that lawsuit. You know that, right?
Google's stock price, of course, skyrocketed after the ruling. Then there's Apple.
Sleepy
Tim
Joe
Cook personally donated $1 million to the inauguration. And for his donation, Apple has been given a lot of preferential treatment. Just this past April, Apple was in a tough spot. Trump had just announced huge tariffs on all kinds of goods coming from foreign countries. Tariffs that would raise Apple's cost of doing business by billions. Weeks later, after Tim Cook met with Trump, the White House announced tariff exemptions for smartphones, computers, and chips. You know, the things that Apple makes. So a $1 million donation for Apple and billions in savings. I guess that's what economists would call a return on investment. To me, it just looks like a bribe with extra steps.
Microsoft, you guessed it, also got in on the action.
We're so fucked,
with a
dude.
$750,000.
Like, we're so fucked into every hole at this point in time. That this is like so corrupt and so crazy, and it just goes unnoticed. Basically, this is just one of a long list of crimes this orange motherfucker commits on like a weekly basis, and everybody is just like, whatever. Let's just, business as usual, basically.
$1,000 donation.
And like Google, they got the FTC off their back. A major antitrust case against them dropped for a huge merger they did in 2023 with Activision. Amazon reached a big settlement with the FTC for essentially tricking consumers into signing up for Amazon Prime, a case the FTC could easily have won. So why would they suddenly settle? Are you starting to see a pattern yet? Well, just wait, it's about to get worse. According to research done by Public Citizen, 1 in 3 lawsuits brought against big tech by the government have now been dropped by the Trump administration. So if these donations are all paying off for big tech, you really have to wonder, what else is being bought by all these donations? What you're looking at now is the biggest inaugural fund in the history of the United States. You might be wondering, why are we talking about the inauguration now, months later? Well, first, information about donors take months to be reported to the public, and some donors try to hide their donations. Second, inaugural funds have become a major tool for corporate interests to buy influence in our government. We have all this data because Open Secrets combed through the federal election.
Is it a hot take if I would say that I think that corporations or even individuals, or no, the other way around, a politician, regardless of if it's the president or a senator or whoever it is in your country, in my country, wherever, they should never receive any corpo or private money, period. They can get a salary, and maybe that salary, let's just make it a good salary, okay? But they should never be allowed to take, at least as long as they're in office. Maybe they can be promised money when they get out of office, and then it's kind of like bribing them, because they know, oh, I will receive that money contractually as soon as I leave office, and then they do like certain things while they're in office. That's a different kind of story, and then you have to find rules and regulations for that as well. But bribing people or giving them money while they are in office should be strictly forbidden. Strictly. Like not a penny.
Commission filings to find out who donated. Over $240 million, nearly 800 donors, and like I said before, no rules about how that money has to be spent, managed, or where it can come from. Even the Trump team can't find a way to spend $240 million on a party. So what's happening with all that leftover money, and who's managing it? There is an opportunity here for unprecedented levels of corruption. Unlimited corporate money flowing into the coffers of the Trump Inaugural Fund, buying access without any oversight. So of course, big tech companies weren't the only ones throwing their hats in the ring. Up first, the top donor.
What can you even do with that inaugural fund? Can somebody write that maybe in the comments? I know not a lot of people watch these videos, but if somebody knows this, like if you watch this and you know what he can do as the president with that money, that would be nice, I can also look it up myself after the video, but maybe somebody knows it.
A company called Pilgrim's Pride contributed $5 million. They're one of the top chicken producers in the United States, and this was their biggest political donation ever. And you know what? It looks like they're getting good value for their money. Because in March of this year, just a few months after the inauguration, the USDA started changing the rules around poultry production. The USDA decided to let poultry giants speed up production despite serious safety concerns. Unions pointed out that increased speeds will mean more injured workers in an industry where over 80% of workers are already at risk for repetitive use injuries. And yeah, that makes sense. But I guess the unions didn't have $5 million to give to the Trump administration. Next up, Big Oil, ConocoPhillips, and Chevron. On the first day of the new administration, Trump signed an order to expand drilling on federal land in Alaska. Then they passed the One Big Beautiful Bill, which had $18 billion in tax breaks and incentives for big oil. Then in July, they reversed their own ban and decided that Chevron should definitely be allowed to operate in Venezuela. And I'm sure the $2 million donation had nothing to do with it. Nvidia got in on the action with a $1 million donation. And what did they get? Permission. The government had previously banned Nvidia from selling their most advanced AI chips to China on the grounds that China would be using them for the military. Not the case anymore. AI chips can be sold to China again, although Nvidia does have to share 15%.
And it's also like, sorry, it's also like that these donations are not even that high, right? Like, what is $1 million for Nvidia? They piss $1 million in like an hour, right? It feels like it's not even that much, even though it's obviously a psychotic amount of money. But for a company that size, it feels like it's nothing.
Of the revenue with the US government. Just like with Apple, tariffs seem to only apply to people who lack direct access to the president. Boeing made a contribution after having a very bad couple of years. You might remember a few years ago their planes were literally falling out of the sky. Hundreds of people died. Seems like the kind of thing that there might be a trial over. But in May, the Department of Justice made a deal with Boeing to not prosecute them for crimes over the 737 crashes, as long as Boeing paid about $1.1 billion in fines. Sounds like a lot of money until you learn that Boeing had just won a contract for $50 billion with the Department of Defense to build new F-47 fighter jets. Looks a lot like a preferential slap on the wrist to me. If you hate the current state of air travel, then you'll be interested to hear that Delta and United both made major donations. Then the Trump administration...
Also, that's even worse, right? People die, and then there is no investigation because they just pay money after people die, instead of like fixing the issues and, you know, trying to figure out what it was to fix it, and then no more people have to die. But instead of doing that, because probably it costs money and they will be fined or whatever, and they have to maybe pay towards, like, I don't know, people some, I have no idea, some money because they killed, like, you know, family members or whatever, or family members died. They just do it the other way around, the wrong way around, basically, by bribing the administration to not have to do all of this or any of this.
Turned around and killed new rules that would force airlines to compensate passengers for excessive delays. In response to this move and the rollback of other rules about hidden fees and flight cancellations, the airlines said, "We look forward to working with the Department of Transportation on implementing President Trump's deregulatory agenda." Yeah, I bet they do. The crypto industry also came in with some of the biggest donations for President Trump. Crypto companies and schemes rocketed to the center of the Trump world at the start of this year when Trump passed the Genius Act, the first major piece of legislation that brings cryptocurrencies into the formal economy, started dropping major investigations into crypto companies, created a strategic cryptocurrency reserve for the government, and launched his own meme coin on the Solana blockchain, another major donor.
Quid pro quo, all of that.
Which is a long-winded sentence that I can't believe I just had to say. And maybe the worst part of all of these donors are the ones that we don't know anything about. The shell companies, political action committees, and the fake nonprofits that were made to hide who the real donors are. Americans for Pharma Reform, Election Freedom Inc., Axe Capital, all untraceable dark money. We'll probably never know who they were or what influence they bought. So yes, technically no one has broken the law here. But shouldn't we care when massive corporations buy influence?
So this is all allowed. He just said nobody has broken the law. So this is like all allowed and normal. That's even worse almost, right? Like that should not be allowed.
The cost of the public? $1 million to spare? You can have dinner with the president and he might even listen to your concerns. $5 million to spare? You can probably buy a whole policy. To me, this looks a lot like a system of patronage, a government that operates on fealty, bribes, personal favors, and insider access. It's not just the inauguration and all this money. It's how the Trump administration has attacked big law firms to get them to offer free work. It's how they sued media companies to get them to take people off the air that don't give Trump favorable coverage. It's how they force private companies to bend the knee to comply with Trump's preferences. It's how they threaten to withhold funding from states with governors that Trump doesn't like. The inaugural fund was just one move in the playbook, a move that recenters corporate power at your expense.
Crazy, dude. Good video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Maybe, you know, you took something away as well. And we're gonna watch some more from More Perfect Union, I guess. They seem to be like a cool channel. Our original video down below, as always. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video, hopefully in the next couple of days. Tschüss, bye bye, tschüss, tschüss, tschüss.